Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling a colossal topic that affects, well, almost every single household. We're unpacking the macroeconomic pressure cooker we're all living in right now. And more importantly, we're mapping out the exact steps you can take to protect your own wealth. Okay, let's dive into this. Look at the sheer scale of this number. $18.8 trillion. According to the Federal Reserve, that is our aggregate household debt balance as of the fourth quarter of 2025. I mean, it's almost hard to wrap your head around, right? To put that into perspective, this national debt burden has grown by a staggering $4.6 trillion since the end of 2019. We're literally carrying heavier financial burdens than ever before. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly where all that debt lives. When we break down that $18.8 trillion, the true weight of our daily obligations becomes crystal clear. Mortgages, unsurprisingly, take up the lion's share at $13.17 trillion. But look at the non-housing balances weighing us down. Auto loans sit at $1.66 trillion. Student loans match that exactly. And credit card balances have swelled to $1.28 trillion. Seeing this visual data from the Federal Reserve really grounds our financial stress in cold, hard statistical reality. You can clearly see the towering cumulative peak of our debt. And, as these balances climb, the system naturally starts to fracture. In fact, by the end of December 2025, 4.8% of this outstanding debt was in some stage of delinquency. The macroeconomy is just squeezing the average consumer so hard right now. So, how does that nationwide debt mountain translate to your kitchen table? Well, it usually manifests as competing priorities. So the crucial point is understanding the tension between two life-altering financial obligations, saving for your own retirement versus funding your children's college education. It's an everyday, micro-level anxiety that almost every parent wrestles with. Which brings us to the ultimate question that keeps people up at night. Which financial goal comes first? It's an incredibly relatable struggle. You want to set your kids up for success, and the thought of them taking on part of that $1.66 trillion national student loan burden, it's terrifying. But you're also staring down your own future, wondering how you'll ever afford to stop working. Well, financial experts actually have a very definitive answer for this. The experts at Experian put it perfectly. You can't borrow your way through retirement. Consider this your financial oxygen mask. Just like the safety briefing on an airplane tells you to secure your own mask before assisting your children, you absolutely have to secure your own retirement first. Why? Because your kids have options to close their funding gap. They can apply for scholarships, work part-time, or take out student loans. But absolutely no bank is going to finance your living expenses in your 70s. Now, prioritizing your retirement doesn't mean you're abandoning your kids' college fund entirely. That is exactly where a 529 plan comes into play. It's a state-sponsored, tax-friendly investment account. By funneling what you can comfortably afford into a 529, where your money grows and can be withdrawn tax-free for qualified education expenses, you provide a solid foundation for your kids while fiercely protecting your primary retirement goals. So how do we actually put this into practice? Let's walk through an age-by-age playbook, starting with navigating your 20s and 30s, the balancing act. When you're just starting out, you're likely juggling entry-level salaries and paying off your own student debt. First Citizens Bank recommends a rule of thumb to aim for saving 15% of your pre-tax income right out of the gate. I know, that sounds steep, but look at this surprising number, $144,000. If you simply invest a mere $60 a month in a qualified retirement plan starting at age 25, assuming a historical 7% return, you'll have roughly $144,000 by age 65. The math is completely on your side. Then, as you move into your 30s, your income grows, but so do your life milestones, like paying a mortgage and having kids. It's a huge balancing act. Here's your 3-step playbook. First, set a concrete retirement goal using a calculator so you have a real target. Second, automate your contributions. If you never see the money, you can't spend it. And third, max out your employer match. With the average match hovering around 4.5%, leaving that on the table is literally leaving free money behind. Moving right along to peak earnings in your 40s, kicking into high gear. You've entered your prime earning years. Because your income is generally higher now, experts recommend attempting to boost your savings rate to 20% of your income. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the silent enemy of your 40s, lifestyle creep. This is when your increasing income leads to proportional and totally unnoticed spending on non-essential items. You get a raise, so you do a high-end kitchen renovation, or you upgrade to a luxury car. Before you know it, your higher salary has been entirely absorbed by your lifestyle.
But fighting lifestyle creep is incredibly rewarding. Just look at this breakdown. If you audit your spending, identify those unnecessary expenses, and redirect just $200 a month from lifestyle creep into an investment yielding 7%, you add nearly $100,000 to your nest egg over the next 20 years. This is exactly how small, disciplined individual actions become the perfect antidote to those heavy, systemic debt pressures we looked at earlier.
And that brings us to the 50s and 60s, the catch-up phase. We need to acknowledge reality here. The 50s can be an incredibly intense financial squeeze. According to Pew Research, 36% of Americans in their 50s are financially supporting a child while simultaneously caring for an elderly parent. If you're struggling to keep up, you absolutely must take advantage of catch-up contributions. The IRS allows individuals ages 50 and older to exceed standard contribution limits on retirement accounts. Maximizing these, along with exploring tax-advantaged vehicles like health savings accounts or backdoor IRAs, are vital tools to accelerate your wealth if you've fallen behind.
And the rules get even better as you enter your 60s. Thanks to the Secure 2.0 Act, there is now a highly specific window for super catch-up contributions. During the specific ages of 60, 61, 62, and 63, you have the opportunity to make an additional $10,000 annual contribution to your retirement account. This is just a massive legislative gift to help you pad your accounts right before you cross the finish line.
As you reach the final stretch, let's move to Westus and see how this builds with a few rapid-fire tactics from First Citizens Bank. First, reassess your risk tolerance to protect what you've built from market volatility. Second, consider downsizing your home to access that equity and reduce upkeep costs. Third, consult a tax pro about Roth conversions while you still have the chance. And finally, consider transitioning into part-time consulting work to boost your income while delaying when you need to actually tap into your savings.
We started this explainer looking at a daunting $18.8 trillion wall of national debt. But as you've seen today, you have total control over your own microeconomy. So I'll leave you with this question. Regardless of the macroeconomy, what is your absolute best next step today? Is it automating your savings, increasing your 401k contribution to get the match, or maybe opening a 529 plan for your kids? Pick one strategy from this playbook, take action, and take control of your financial future.